All right. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Rocking with you here on what is today? A Tuesday. I'm just gonna let you guys know this might be my last episode ever. If I win the Mega Millions, I'm done. I'm deleting everything. I'm deleting all my Instagrams, everything. We moving to Hawaii. We living good. But let's go back into this. You know what I'm saying? I already know how I'm spending my money. But Jimmy Garoppolo passed his physical, excuse me, wiping out 7.5 million in guarantees. This situation, the NFL is just so behind in the NBA because when situations just come to the head, players get bought out, they get traded, they know how to move on. And it just seems like the NFL doesn't know how to move on sometimes. Jimmy doesn't want to be there. He did the shoulder surgery where he kind of screwed over himself because if he was healthy, he probably could have went to a team by now. But now that training camps are started, it's going to be really, really hard for him to get in with a team. So we'll see what ends up happening here. I think the most obvious thing is that's going to likely happen is that he gets released. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to trade for him with his contract. Now, we're still waiting. It's week 3 of thinking that Deshaun Watson's news will have come down, and she still has not passed a verdict on it. So, hey, what if Deshaun Watson gets suspended for a year and they decide, hey, we're going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo? They run similar system in Cleveland as they do in San Francisco. So let's go ahead and get Jimmy and plug and play. And Jimmy's been to a Super Bowl before, so we have a solid run game. He can be a passenger, not a bus driver, as my man Charles Barkley says. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. That Julio Jones agrees with the Buccaneers. This is interesting. He looked washed last year. I mean, he's just had a lot of injuries to his body, a lot of leg injuries, foot injuries. He didn't have the pop for the Titans as a lot of people expected. And there's another scenario where the Titans could have sold higher on him in previous years. And it was obvious that they weren't going anywhere, but no, let's keep him, let's keep him, let's keep him. And, with the NFL, you always get traded at least a third round pick because there's compensatory picks that you get automatic third rounders if a big free agent leaves you. So I get if a team's not offering at least a second, you don't trade him. But there was a time and place that they obviously could have got a first for Julio, and they never pulled that trigger. So we'll see what he ends up doing with the Buccaneers. They have a pretty deep receiving core with Evans and Godwin, and they brought in Gage, and they have Rashard Perriman, and they have the rookie Johnson from Minnesota, or the second year player now. But towards the end of the season in the playoff game, Godwin was hurt. Rashard Perriman was hurt. It was just pretty much, and Mike Evans was running on one leg, so it was pretty much just a ragtag group of guys. So if he's healthy, they'll make it work. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Will DK Metcalf hold in? It's interesting. I thought they would have traded him. And the reason being is it doesn't look like this team is ready to contend. You're in a really good division. It's probably going to be a while till you get your quarterback situation squared away. With the picks, I think they owe next year's pick. I believe they owe next year's pick to the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. But it's going to be a while to the table is set there. But maybe they're thinking, hey, let's have DK Metcalf ready, rare to go. Almost like I was saying with the Lions. I really like what the Lions are doing. Shout out to my man Toloke, where it looks like they're setting the table. They have the receiver, Amon St. Raw, you Jameson Winston that they just drafted. Same thing for Seahawks. They have the receiver in DK Metcalf and Lockett. They have a good running back. Can they fix their offensive line? So, there's up to 4 elite prospects in this draft that's coming up. You get one of them, you plug and play. So we'll see. I'm surprised that they kept him, though, given the amount of money that they're probably going to have to pay him. But and what they probably could have gotten. The price of the brick for AJ Brown was a first and I think a fourth, right? So why not do that if you're looking to rebuild your team? You know, and it looks like you're rebuilding if you're going to run into the season with, Drew Lock and my man Gino. He owes me $500. Smith, remember when Gino wouldn't pay the dude from the Jets his money? He was supposed to go to like some charity event, didn't go. The dude that paid for his flight, the dude asked for his money back. Gino refused to pay him. The dude swung on Gino, broke his jaw. Gino goes from the starter to missing 7 weeks of the season, and nothing's been the same. So, and the dude that swung on him got released from the team. So it was bad for everybody. So broke the quarterback's jaw. Debo Samuel's productive talks, we'll see. It just depends on what he wants. Does he want the best receiver in the league money and say, hey, not only am I a receiver, I do running back situations, line me up in a whole bunch of different places. There's nobody like me, pay me as such. I don't know. We'll see. NBA. A lot of the talk was KD and the Nets, and from the Celtics side, like, hey, would the Celtics do this? Do they trade Jaylen Brown? I said I wouldn't. The age, also the finality of it, because what happens is if KD's 34, but you have a 2-3 year window. So after that 2-3 year window is done, Jason Tatum, he's only 23. He's going to be 26, right? And then he's going to look around and say, okay, why am I staying with the Celtics, right? KD is aged out, right? We have Brogdon and Smart. Those are cool players, but those are not running mates. I have a running mate in Jaylen Brown. But, I was listening to the Low Post, and they made a good point that Jaylen Brown's only made an all-star team once. So it's not like we're looking at him like he's this super duper star, but is he really that? So from the Nets perspective, I think this is a home run. If you can get him, you can really start to look at an identity for your team defensively with Jaylen Brown and Ben Simmons, with shooting around them. Then you really can look at your team. But if it's Jaylen Brown and Smart, I think the Celtics have to hang up and move on. But if it's Jaylen Brown, but they want multiple picks. The GM is acting like he doesn't want to trade him because every trade offer he's getting, he's asking just for the moon. And no one's giving you the moon for a 34-year-old. So, but for the Nets perspective, yeah, I think I like it. That's the best player that they've been offered so far in all these packages. Depending on what you think of Aiden's upside, they obviously didn't think much of it because they didn't do it. So, but yeah, I think they got the offers are not going to get better the longer you wait. I didn't understand his view of leverage, but the offers are not going to get better while you wait. I saw this, and Chris Carson on the Seahawks retires due to a neck injury. Like, I talked about Richard Sherman and just other NFL players just talking about how beat up their body is, and good luck to him. Neck injury, that's serious. Serious, can affect all types of other places in your body. So shout out to him. These players, they put themselves in a really bad predicament sometimes with this football situation, because a lot of them, you're young, you're spending your money, and even though your body doesn't want you to continue, you have to continue. And the guys that can walk away on their terms, Devontae Davises, who quit at halftime. Remember that week 1 of the season, he signs with the Bills, and he signed like for a $10 million deal, multi-years, like 2 years, 20 million. He went in halftime, was like, bro, I'm good. I'm done. I don't even know why I did this. I'm not playing. I'm not going through another season. I don't need the money. I'm out. So shout out to them. I gotta end. With my boy Kyler Murray. It's embarrassing. The more I thought about it, the more I couldn't believe it that there's such a clause in it. And then it came out that he said that he doesn't study as much because he has the cognitive skills Let me look this up. See exactly what he says. He admitted last year he doesn't spend expensive time watching film. I think I was blessed with cognitive skills to just go out there and just see it before it happens. I'm not one of the guys that's going to sit there and kill myself watching film. I'll sit there for 24 hours and break down this team and that team and watch every game because in my head I see so much. Oh my God. Oh my God. 4 hours in a week. Do you know how little 4 hours in a week this film study is? Like a football player, when you play sports, um, you're shocked at how much downtime you have the more when you stop playing sports, right? You're like, damn, I have all this free time because I play sports. But that's when you played sports and were a student. When you're a professional athlete, you go to practice, team may practice from 10 to 1, you have weight training, and then that's it. You can go home for the day a lot of times. You know, the guys that are dedicated, they stay, they watch film, but he obviously wasn't them because they're asking for 4 hours. You would that's 1 hour, that's less than an hour a day of watching film, right? Less than an hour a day in a 7 day week, a 6 day week, lead up to a game. That's less than an hour a day. And look what he's saying. You know, Tom Brady, you know, the guys of these games, studying film, studying formations. And he said, oh, I'm blessed with cognitive skills. I can see it before it happens. It makes so much sense now on why the team would just sputter out at the end of the season because they pick up the new stuff, what they're doing, and he's obviously not going to learn the counters. He's not obviously not going to read what they're doing because he's blessed with the cognitive skills, right? So you have to pay him, and the hope is that he matures. But his body language, just the energy that he gives off, man, I'll couple it with this. He just seems like an idiot. I'm sorry, I don't like to call names, but like he just I've never heard of nothing like this before. I'm still floored that this would be added into a contract. It's probably one of the biggest stumbling blocks in the contract. And it says more about the whole Cardinals regime. When let's see, when they lost and got blown out, the Cardinals owner angry after loss. Let's see. Very, very upset. The Cardinals owner said he's very, very upset about the team's finish. Right? I think he released a statement. It wasn't just this. He said something. Yeah, he said, I can't remember. He just said he was very upset. It was deeper than that. He said something like he was upset and he expected changes. Yeah, oh, okay, maybe he didn't say it. There was a tense meeting with Cardinals owner Michael Bidwill, the GM and coach. He was unhappy with late season slide and intimated change were possible. Shit hit the fan. Well, it didn't hit the fan because they gave Kyler Murray the third biggest contract of all quarterbacks, right? They gave Steve Kime an extension, and Cliff Kingsbury came back. So you can talk all this stuff that you're angry, but nothing's changed. And the stuff that's going on in Arizona is just, it kind of boggles my mind a little bit. The GM, after drafted a top 10 quarterback, was allowed to make that mistake. And I think, hey, you hire fast, you fire fast. So I'm not going to really knock him for picking Josh Rosen and not working out with him and going with Kyler Murray. Get it. But at the same time, though, bro, this guy hasn't really hit, and he's had some off the field stuff too. But everybody's saying he and the owner, they're guys. They work out together, they hang out together, almost like Daniel Snyder and Allen before on the Washington Commanders. So just everything, the whole vibe that Arizona's giving me. Long story short, I'm out. I'm out. Then I'm out on this team. So I thought that they had a chance to do some things, but after reading that, and I'm blessed with cognitive skills, you know, a lot of people think that age brings on maturity, but old fools used to be young fools. And sometimes there's no 100 years can change the stupidity in your mind. So hopefully he grows, he learns, he's embarrassed, and he puts the work in. But again, they just validated his behavior by giving him this contract. So you can force somebody to be in independent study for 4 hours, but are they really paying attention? And by his own admission, he doesn't think that he needs it. So this is one of the more interesting things to see. I want to see what actually happens with this. What does the season look like? Do they have another another late season slide? And if they do, does the owner actually do something about it this year? So, all right, let's go ahead and end it there. The game is the game. All right, thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor, push the button, hit subscribe. Come on, man, push it.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
You heard what she said.
And do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is the game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, you know? The game is a game. Always.